Alright, hey guys, and welcome back. As this week I'm taking a look at one of the final figures in the Masters of the Universe Origins Wave 1 series, and that is Evil-Lyn. Now this is the final of the individually packaged figures. Still have a few more to go through with different 2-packs, vehicles, and sets like that, but she is the last of the single package figures, and the last so far of the evil forces of Skeletor. So, first off, let's take a look at the packaging. As always, you have the New for 20 logo up in the top left-hand corner, the Masters of the Universe logo with Evil-Lyn, Evil Warrior Goddess, bursting out of the bright red bursting rocks background, which looks fantastic. I can't say that enough. I say that in every single video. I love how these cards look. They just look amazing. Of course, you have the modern posing retro play Starburst over the figure. The Mattel logo in the bottom right-hand corner. We have Evil-Lyn on the blister card with her accessory, and the Beast Barrage mini comic in the back. So again, love the look of this card. Looks fantastic. Looks just like all the ones you're going to see in the series, and looks great. So let's flip this around, and we'll take a look at the back side of the card. And as always, we have some fantastic artwork on the back. We have Evil-Lyn here in the jungle or a swamp here, and she's opening up a portal or casting a spell. We have the includes comic book Starburst up in the top. She's using her trademark staff or scepter with that crystal ball on the top, and there's like a little reptile shadow demon hiding out back there. And then we have a little quote here with Evil-Lyn wields frightening magic, making her both Skeletor's greatest ally and his worst enemy, which that is very true. If you guys watch the cartoon a lot, she was always vying for his seat and control over his evil minions. And then, of course, we have the standard 6-back here with He-Man, Teela, Man-at-Arms, Skeletor, Evil-Lyn, and Beastman. And then we have the call out on what would have been the power features here, where it says fit crystal ball into hand and twist into powerful battle positions, because of course that's what this line is all about, is the posability, since none of the figures have the power punch like the original vintage. Alright, so that's going to do it for checking out the figure on the card. Let's get it opened up and let's see everything that would have come with it with Evil-Lyn. Alright, so now we've got Evil-Lyn all out of the package, and we can see everything that she comes with. Of course, like all the other Wave 1 Masters of the Universe Origins figures, you get the little Beast Barrage mini comic. We have Evil-Lyn, and then of course we have her trademark crystal ball, scepter, magic wand, whatever you want to call it. So let's just move the little comic off to the side here and take a close-up look at the figure. Now, one thing that you'll notice right off of the bat is just the difference in the color, which is something that you see in a lot of these Origins figures, is that a lot of their colors are much, much brighter. And this is probably twice as bright as her original 1982 counterpart. Extremely bright fluorescent yellow. I don't think it looks bad, it's just very different. The rest of the figures looks pretty good, I think. The head sculpt is nice. She has a very stern, kind of filmation look that we know and remember from the cartoon. I think that they got the facial features looking pretty good. Her headdress with the skull and the different jewels around the top looks nice with the coloring, as well as the rest of her armor, her shoulder armor, her bracelets and cuffs that she's wearing here. And then she has the dark purple boots, and the same type of detailing around the rest of the armor on the back. Not too much going on with her, a very simple design, but looks good. The one thing I will say that's a call out on this, and I think it's because of the bright yellow, is the knees. They really seem to stand out. I didn't notice them as much with Teela or with other figures, but for some reason with Evil-Lyn, they really, I don't know why, they just really kind of stick out. It's not a bad thing, but it does make the figure look a little strange. Now the same thing with all the other Wave 1 figures. You have the same points of articulation as to where you have the head is on a pivot. You have the arms, which you can move up and down. They pivot at the elbow. The hands move around. We have the pivot at the waist, of course, at the legs, at the knee, and at the ankle. And also one thing that you can do with these figures that a lot of people sometimes forget to mention is that you can pull the head off, you can pull the arms off, and you can she can only swap with like Tila, but you can swap the parts back and forth and you know, make your own custom figure. And another way that she's a little bit different from the vintage as well is that she has two hands here that you can put her scepter or crystal ball in, as where the vintage one only had one. So let's go ahead and give her that now. And you can see it looks really, really good. Again, the color is going to be a little bit brighter, but it has the talons that go around the crystal ball. Nice and long. Some good detail. I think it needs to be larger, so that way it matches the size of the figure. So I think that that's not a problem, that it's a larger accessory. And yeah, it's pretty fun to be able to pose her in, you know, some different battle positions and stuff like that. So overall, I think that you know, she's a really good looking addition to the Wave 1 Origins line, and it's a pretty good new reimagining of Evil-Lyn. So now let's take a look at her side by side with the vintage Evil-Lyn, and we'll see how they stack up. Alright, so here we have the two figures for a side-by-side comparison. And like I said before, one of the biggest things you definitely notice with this new figure is the brightness in all the colors. I think the armor looks good. The headdress, honestly, I think it looks a little bit better in the newer one than in the vintage one. The facial features look about the same. I think they look a little bit better on the vintage one. All the armor, everything is pretty much exactly the same. They stand the same height. There's no real difference front and back, except the newer one will stand a little bit easier just because of the rubber bands in this. I mean, not that this Evil-Lyn is having any particular problems at the moment standing, but you know, the newer one, since they have better articulation, I think that they will stand a little bit better. And then aside from that, let's take a look at the weapons. And let's do a little side-by-side comparison. I'm imagining that the vintage one will be smaller. This is how they usually go. And actually, they're the exact same length, which now that is surprising. Because I know with Tila's accessories, now the newer one is thicker. The older one is a little bit more bendy, and there's definitely more details around the base of the scepter there. But overall, it looks good. I mean, I don't notice that much of a difference. I like this color a lot better, and I think maybe they should have kept that tone in her armor, or maybe at least just kept the tone of the weapon. I think that just seems to go better in my opinion, but not too much of a big difference. And like I said with the figure, how she has this second hand that you can put something in. With this, she does not. It's just a flat palm. So that's a nice feature that, you know, even though she only has the one accessory, that way, you know, you can pose her in different ways. Although I do gotta say that I like in the vintage one how it just has that little hole, because you can put the scepter in her hand, and then you never have to worry about the joints coming loose or losing the accessory and it popping out. Like, you know, you can shake this thing all around, and that's not gonna go anywhere. So I think that's a big advantage over the vintage one as compared to the new Motu Origins one. But overall, even though there's some big differences, I think it still really looks very similar, and I probably said that with almost all the figures in the Wave 1 series, and that's because I really don't think they're doing a bad job with this line. I think there's some minor differences, but overall, I think they really look good. And alright guys, that is going to do it for this Masters of the Universe Origins Wave 1 Evil-Lyn review. And like I always say, I think that this is a fantastic figure. I highly recommend picking it up if you're into the Origins line at all. I think these will look great, especially once I can finally get my hands on a new Origins Castle Grayskull, and I see pictures of these when you have them all grouped together, the good guys, the bad guys, everything in the wave. They do look a little bit different, but once you put them together and they're in their own kind of universe, they look fantastic. So I definitely recommend being able to pick up this figure. Still pretty common, shouldn't be too hard to find this at your local Walmart or Target, and makes an awesome addition to the Motu Origins line. So as we now near the end of all of my Wave 1 reviews, only got a few more to go. I'll see you guys back here next time for another Masters of the Universe Origins review. Until next time, friends.
Hey guys, if you liked the video that you just watched, don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below, and you can follow me at Facebook at King of Retro or Twitter at #8ByteBrian. See you next time.